Mike Bond here in Washington with Mr. Paul Felder, who is working the booth on Saturday for UFC on ESPN 7. But more pressing business, Paul. You do have a fight booked. You have a main event, your first headliner in the UFC against Dan Hooker. You were just down in New Zealand, had a great stare down with him. Just tell me a little bit about that trip.
Yeah, it was fantastic, man. Unfortunately, it was quite a lot of travel for a very short amount of time. You know, we popped down there for about a day and a half, but everybody was amazing down there, you know, minus Dan Hooker, who got in my face, tried to be a tough guy. But other than him, it was great. You know, that country is fantastic. The people were great down there. The food was amazing. I can't wait to go back in February and put on a show for those fans, stay for a few days and enjoy it. But yeah, it was a quick turnaround, and unfortunately, I still had a job booked to do here in D.C., and this will be the last one. After this one, it's right in the training camp and get this weight down. You know, I'm about 170 pounds, maybe a little lighter. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, you and Dan, had some talk online, and then he said keep that same energy face to face. I mean, was that maybe the most intense stare down you've had in your career so far?
Oh, I would say that's yeah. Other than the weirdest stare down I ever had was crazy old Mike Perry, who I love. You know, I think he's fantastic. He's great, but as far as intensity, and I mean, that was real, you know what I mean? Like, I went down to New Zealand expecting a little bit of that from Dan because of how we interacted on social media, and we kind of went back and forth a little bit, but that's what it's all about, man. We're two guys that are trying to rally for a title shot after this one, so we're in each other's way. So that's how it should be. That's how it's supposed to be. When you got a 5-round main event with a guy, I'm invading into his country. My whole plan is to go down there, knock his ass out in front of all his friends and family, and take that money and get out of there and go on to a title shot. I mean, that's the plan.
Are you happy with this fight? I mean, I know when we spoke last month in New York, you were thinking Poirier, maybe McGregor, Gaethje, something like that. Ultimately, you got this. It's a main event. Are you pleased with the situation?
Yeah, because the whole thing I wanted was I either wanted a really high-ranked opponent or I wanted a main event, right? I made that really clear to my manager, to Sean Shelby, to Dana White, that, look, this is what I want. And for some reason, it seemed like Dana was a little reluctant to give me that shot, to kind of give me that chance to step in there. And I don't know what it is about my style that is any question that, you wouldn't want having a 5-round fight, but they finally trusted me. They gave me that opportunity, and here we are. And that's what I wanted. I didn't care that Dan's, one rank behind me. That stuff doesn't matter. He's been on an absolute killing streak right now. So if I take him out, that just sets me up for, I think one more fight potentially till, fighting for the belt.
How does 5 rounds, impact your approach to a fight?
It's just, for me, I just want to get started a little earlier than I normally would. Normally I would say 6 to 8 weeks for a training camp for a 3-round fight is more than enough. I'm always in the gym. I'm always training. I'm always in shape. But 5 rounds is just, it's a different animal, right? So I think about 10 weeks out, so when I get home, that'll probably be about right around 11 weeks. I'll probably do another week, enjoy my family, and then at the 10-week mark, I'll really start dieting. I won't push it too much because you can burn out. You can overtrain for a 5-round fight because if you start panicking and thinking, oh man, I got 25 minutes of fighting, you push yourself too much and you burn out. So this weekend, I'm having fun still. I'm training, but we're still going out and doing our thing.
Yeah. I mean, do you think this even needs 5 round though? Like, is this fight going to go that far? Or do you think this is an earlier finish?
Hell no, I don't see this thing going 5 rounds. The way me and Dan fight, we're trying to end each other in there, man. We're going to go in there and, we got some bad blood right now. Obviously, I'm trying to hurt this man. He's trying to hurt me, but I respect his skill set. I know what he offers. I know what he brings to the table. And he knows, based on that stare down, he knows what I'm coming with too. He knows what he's in for.
What do you think the lay of the land is right now at lightweight? You mentioned maybe one more fight to the title shot, but McGregor's back, but he's fighting at 170. We finally got Khabib and Tony booked. Hopefully it actually happens this time. Yeah. Justin Gaethje said he's going to wait for the winner. That can go any different ways when you decide to do that. Just what do you think about how everything's unfolding right now?
Yeah, I think that's the only really confusing part. I'm surprised that an active guy like Justin wants to wait, but I mean, he's put in the work, let him do his thing, but I don't see that happening. I don't see him just being able to sit around and wait for a title shot. Poirier, is still looking for a fight, so depending on how things go on February 23rd, could be a quick turnaround, and maybe a number 1 contender spot could open up. I would love to fight Dustin. I have nothing but respect for that guy. But as you've seen, I can have nothing but respect for a guy, and it's not going to stop me from getting in your grill and letting you know that I'm here to smash your face.
Yeah. Is it good that, it seems like Conor McGregor's plan is to do stuff at welterweight? He's talked about Masvidal. Like, it kind of takes him out of the equation a little bit and maybe makes your avenue to the belt a little easier.
That's what I'm hoping, though, because he wants to fight at 70 and he's hunting that, George Masvidal fight. then let him do that. Take him lower down the rankings so that guys like me and Dan Hooker, who are putting in work at 155 pounds, guys like Justin Gaethje, get him out of our way and let us fight for the belt in those big fights. Because if he's still in the rankings in the top 3, top 5, guys are going to want to fight him. Guys are going to call out. They're going to wait to try to fight him. And it just mixes things up. It muddies stuff up for us.
Yeah, I know you're boys with Cowboy. How do you think that fight goes?
Hey, man, I think people are going to sleep on Cowboy. And when he goes in there and does his thing, he's tall. He's fighting at 70. He's not going to deplete himself down to 155 pounds, which is where we've seen most of his trouble come in the past, right? And when he used to really dehydrate himself. And I love Cowboy, but he doesn't do the whole weight cut thing the way that a lot of us athletes do. You know, he's Cowboy about it. So he doesn't recover as well as he could. So him fighting at 70, I love him in that fight.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, first year up, and February 22nd going to be really interesting. Do you have an official prediction at this point?
Man, I never have a prediction. It's just violence, war. I'm going down to that country, and I'm bringing USA and Ireland with me on that one.
Awesome. Well, we're very much looking forward to it. Thank you very much for the time, Paul.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.